So within this video, we're going to talk about aerobic training, and really the kind of emphasis of what we're going to be focusing on is focusing on some sort of notion of marathon training. Okay, so I'm just taking the idea of aerobic training and applying it to a marathon training program. There's no reason why this couldn't be related to a 10,000 meter runner or a triathlete or anything else. But just for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on marathon. And look, it's what we're going to describe as a 16-week training program, which is pretty classic, about 4 months of training to lead up to a marathon. And I suppose it's kind of like an intermediate kind of program, okay? So there's a couple of details in here which we're going to try and draw out and to have a look at. It's a very simple, very, very simple plan, but we're going to sort of try and draw out some stuff from it. But without question, the thing we've got to do first of all is we've got to decide, whether we are healthy enough to do this sort of thing. So we can do a PAR-Q initial assessment. Okay, so either for ourselves or for someone we might be working with, we need to be absolutely confident that the activity we're going to do is not going to do us any damage or cause us illness or so on. And once we've done that, we also need to get an idea of our own fitness or of the fitness of the athletes that we're working with. And we do that by applying fitness tests. Okay, now we've talked a lot about fitness tests in recent videos and recent lessons, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about those, but certainly just remember some of the relevant kind of tests that could be used. That could be the MSF test, the multi-stage fitness test, or the bleep test. You could be doing something like a 12-minute Cooper run, 12-minute Cooper, or you could be doing something like, what would be another good example? You could be doing something that we talked a bit before about PWC 170, for example. So these sort of tests are going to give the athlete themselves, but also the person who's planning the training program, some crucial information about making the actual program itself relevant to the person that's undertaking it, either yourself or whoever your athlete happens to be. Once you've done that, it's about goal setting, okay? Goal setting and accurately identifying what it is you're trying to achieve. So let's sort of have a look at how that actually would break down. The first thing we need to do is we need to, in terms of our goal setting we need to identify what we're talking about with the macrocycle. And the macrocycle, the time phase of the macrocycle, is what we refer to as the long-term objective or the long-term period. So it's the long-term goal, right? So in this 16-week training program, it may well be that the objective of actually doing the marathon, which of course is this thing here, is, let's say for argument's sake, this person wants to run it in 3 hours, 30 minutes for argument's sake. Okay, that is going to be the macrocycle long-term goal. Now, it happens to be that this is over a 4-month period or a 16-week period. Normally, a macrocycle goal is something like 1 season or 1 calendar year. There are some athletes who do it shorter. We've got the example of the marathon runner here. There are some athletes who do it longer. Let's think about the Olympic marathon runner, for example, who might be looking at a 4-year sort of macrocycle of winning medals at major championships. But that macrocycle goal is going to be some kind of outcome goal, or it could be a goal which was related to some notion of fitness, right? It could be that this performer